Alright, so I'm about to show you how I set up for my squat. So basically, I just make sure it's even across my shoulders, and that's where I'll unrack the bar from. Because you don't want to be unracking the bar from too high or too low, because then the bar could either slide down your back or you won't be as stable and you can get out of position doing that. So next, I put my pinkies on the wide rings of the bar because I do have a wide grip for squat as well, because it's more comfortable. And then I center myself. I kind of just align myself with the middle of the bar. And I squat low bar, so I'm going to make sure to bring the bar right below my traps and to sit on that shelf on my shoulder. And then from here, I'm squeezing my arms down to get my lats tight and get my upper back tight into the bar. So then I'll press upwards onto it a little bit to take the slack out. And then from here, I'm going to swing my hips and brace. And when I brace, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to inhale with my nose, and then I'm going to squeeze my abdomen as hard as possible. So then from here, I'm going to walk out. Your walkout shouldn't be more than 2 steps. And then from here, I'm going to make a tripod with my feet. So that means my pinky toe, my big toe, and my heel are all going to be rooted into the ground and screwed into the ground. And then from here, I'm going to flex my quads as hard as possible, getting tight. I'm going to tuck my glutes in and then draw my rib cage down. And then to make my brace even tighter, I'm going to pull down on the bar as if I'm trying to bend it. And of course, the bar is not going to bend, but I promise this will make your brace tighter. Ooh, and I forgot to put my chain in my mouth. But anyways, so then from here, I'm going to brace again. And because I'm doing pause squats, pause it all the way on every single warm-up set. Also, on the descent, I'm hinging my hips backwards. So I'm pushing my hips back as if I'm trying to close a drawer with my butt. And yeah, that's how I set up for my squat, minus putting the chain in my mouth. This is how the squat is going to look like with all of those components coming together. So on squat, I put the chain in my mouth to brace. It's like I bite down on it. It's the same way that some people, when they lift very heavy, they wear mouth guards. So for me, I just putting my necklace in my mouth and I bite down on it, and it makes my brace much tighter. And the tighter brace that you have, the more weight that you'll be able to lift because your body is able to handle heavier loads because you're super tight. Also, I have a narrow stance on squat. I stand like this. And that's only because, if I squat wider, it's very hard for me to hit depth because of how my hips are structured. So for me, having a more narrow stance, I'm able to hit depth much easier and have way more power on the concentric part of the lift. So on squats, your walkout shouldn't be more than 2 steps. And this way, you're going to conserve more energy on the lift. If you're kind of doing like a penguin shuffle, like on the squat, you're just wasting energy. And the more steps you're taking, it could be strength that could be used when you're actually doing the eccentric and concentric portion of the movement. So when you're squatting, you also want to make sure that you're hinging your hips. So when you're hinging your hips, you're going to allow more tension to be created on the eccentric portion of the movement, which is going to allow you more power standing up from the squat. Also, you want to make sure that your chest is up. You don't want to be leaning too far forward, which could throw you off balance and lead to you either failing the lift or the lift feeling much heavier than it should be. Okay, so you also don't want to be dive bombing any of your squats either. So dive bombing just means that you're descending into the hole way too fast. And when you do that, you're not having as much tension being built up between your hips, your glutes, your quads, and your hamstrings to allow you to have more power on the concentric portion of the lift. You will always be stronger with a slower eccentric. have the lift under more control. Also on squats, you want to make sure that you're holding your breath all the way through the entire rep. So when you're bracing, you're not exhaling until the top of the rep. If you exhale like as soon as you're trying to like stand up from the squat, you won't be as strong because that brace will be lost and that tightness will be lost and the weight will feel much heavier. You want to make sure that you're holding your brace throughout the entire rep or it's going to f up your squat. You also want to make sure that you're not squatting on your toes, on the balls of your feet. You need to be using your entire foot, so your heels need to be on the ground. It all starts at the feet. You're going to be much stronger when your entire foot is on the ground and your heel is on the ground. And this is going to make you stronger and not be unbalanced standing up from the squat.